Gamescom 2025 has come out and a lot of releases have been shown, but none of them could have caught my attention more than finally the confirmation of the Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter crossover. We have been waiting for a while. Yoshi P just kept talking about wanting to do the crossover over and over, almost every interview it was mentioned. I am actually surprised it took them this long to get around it. And not only that, speaking of being surprised, the peak for Monster Hunter being Omega? They kept talking about Nidhogg, they kept talking about Bahamut, but Omega of all things. Now, chicken tenders, memes, and all of that aside, it's gonna be a fun time to see all the Monster Hunter players just getting used to Starboard and Larboard. Not even Final Fantasy XIV players are used to it. I played the crossover back in Monster Hunter Worlds when they showed the Behemoth. And the game mechanic of that was so much fun. I didn't get to enjoy the crossover as much as other people because I didn't used to play Final Fantasy XIV back in the day. So getting the Dragoon armor was never a big deal for me until I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. So I am really curious what we're going to be getting this time around. If I had to make a bet, I'm going to assume we're going to be getting in Monster Hunter Wilds, we're going to be getting the Viper armor, because they just keep showing that one over and over again. But we are not here to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds, we're here to talk about Final Fantasy XIV and what we are getting at the end of this deal. For Final Fantasy XIV, we are getting Arkveld, the flagship monster for Monster Hunter Wilds, who has a really goddamn good design, especially in the fight, with the chain-like appendages that he has. Oh, it's so cool. I am hoping they keep the breaking of parts for the fight. In the last crossover that we got for Final Fantasy XIV, we got Rathalos, who was basically the flagship monster for the entire franchise of Monster Hunter. And not only that, ever since that came out, Yoshi P in multiple interviews has said how the Monster Hunter team outdid the 14 team when it came to implementing the monster in their game. So maybe we might have some hope that they decide to put some elbow grease on this event, just a little bit, hoping that it's actually really good. Maybe we have a couple of rough times in Final Fantasy XIV recently, but we are hoping that they decide to show off a little bit with this fight. Fingers crossed for that one. Now, the most important part about the crossover is not just the crossover itself, is not just being able to fight one of the monsters of Monster Hunter in Final Fantasy XIV, but we are here especially for the rewards. Now, the Monster Hunter event last time with the Rathalos, it gave us the fight, an extreme version of the fight, 2 minions for completing the story and for farming the extreme version, plus an armor set and music scrolls. Not to mention, you could also get a furnishing item for both inside your house and outside your house that was basically the meat that you could roll in Monster Hunter, which was nice. Not to mention the most important thing, the Rathalos mount. Now, about the armor sets, I'm going to be honest with you. I have never been a fan of the armor set for the Rathalos in 14. It doesn't look like armor itself. I would have preferred it 1,000 times if they just ported the actual Rathalos armor into Final Fantasy XIV instead of trying to make their own version of one. Because instead of looking like Hunter armor, it just looks like garments. I don't know. It doesn't look that good, if I'm gonna be honest with you. At least it's not my particular taste when it comes to this kind of stuff. That goes into conjunction with what I want for the rewards of Final Fantasy XIV's crossover. At minimum, we should be getting the same amount of rewards as the last event. We should get the fight, plus the extreme version, music scroll, the mount, 2 minions, and 2 types of gear sets, plus the furnishing of the house. If I were to be more hopeful, which with 14 at this point in time, I'm not entirely, I could hope for a new emote, and I could hope for some glamour weapons. It would be amazing to see what they do with armors based on the Arc Belt in 14. Just glamour weapons. They don't need to be like high item level or anything. It's just glamour. It would be amazing. Now, we do have the confirmation we should be getting a Palico minion based on the trailer, as you see the Palico with the outfit from Monster Hunter Wilds. And the mount with being the secret. Those two are basically a confirmation. The armor sets and glamours are going to be the hard part because we didn't see anything like that through the trailer. I am really hoping, however, that they keep the game mechanics the same as with Rathalos, where fighting the Rathalos was actually kind of hard because of the way its mechanics were with the hitboxes the constant pushbacks, the animation logs, plus the only way of healing being with the potions. That was fun. That was an interesting, different mechanic to it. So I'm really hoping they carry that kind of gameplay over to the Arc Belt fight. Fingers crossed for that one. Now, about the armor set for the Arc Belt, they have to give us some cool armor there. Please, for the love of God, give us a cool armor. If you look at Monster Hunter Wilds version of the Arc Belt armor, is this amazing Viking with chains and a cloak. Now, granted, cloaks in 14 kind of suck, but if you give me like a Viking-inspired armor with all the fur and the chains, I'm gonna be extremely happy. Not to mention, please, for the love of God, give us 2 sets that we can all wear. I am getting a little tired of being given only a single set or a single piece of glamour because they are trying to make everything gender neutral, and I am getting sick of it. I need to have different things that I can wear that can look cool or cute depending on what you have. It would be amazing, and I am begging for the love of God to not ruin this. Give us proper armor. Do not making modern outfits. For the love of God, do not make this a Solution 9 inspired glamour. I am begging of you. But with that being said, I am excited to see what this brings to the table I was going to say in September because it's next month, but October, because 14 has to make us wait for that. It hurts every single time that I have to wait for stuff to come out to 14. But those are my biggest hopes for this. At the very least, we get cool armor and cool weapon glamours. Because 14 needs to try a little harder. They need to give us a cool set of things that we can get with this event. Please, Yoshi P, please create a business Unit 3. I don't even know what your name is anymore. Please make this a good event that cannot be completed in just like an hour. For the love of God, give us something to grind for.